Hey, I'm Grant with Grant's Game Rex. Welcome to my monthly video on the best board game expansions hitting retail. To me, retail means friendly local game stores, but it also means big box stores occasionally when that is a thing, when something goes into Target. It means online marketplaces, basically any way that you can go get a game sort of immediately and easily. We always have expansions coming out each month trying to reinvigorate interest in a game, provide new content, provide more replayability, and this month is no exception. We got a bunch of great expansions here, so I hope you find something you're interested in. Cryptozoic is releasing the expansion to the DC deck building game Justice League Dark. I do a video every month on the best new editions of board games coming out, and I included the DC deck building game Justice League Dark in that game because it is sort of a standalone new version of the DC deck building game, which is a classic deck building card game, but set in the DC universe with DC characters and superheroes, supervillains, all that sort of stuff. So this Justice League Dark expansion, you need to play it with a different version of the DC deck building game. It does say that it requires any DC deck building base game to play, so you don't need just the Justice League Dark one, but it is optimized to play with the Justice League Dark deck and stuff like that. In this version, there's going to be new super villains in the game. There are new superhero nemesis cards for you to defeat. There are new main deck cards to transform and seal away. Cursed weakness cards. Just a lot of different cards to play the DC deck building game. So if you're a fan of, if you're like, no Marvel for me, I'm Batman all the way. Well, here you go. This is the DC for you. Asmodee, in association with Fantasy Flight Games, are releasing Unfathomable from the Abyss. This is the first expansion for the game Unfathomable. Unfathomable is a re-implementation of the decently old game now, Battlestar Galactica, the board game. It sort of took those mechanisms and gave it a new theme, gave it a new setting. If you don't know either of those games, Unfathomable or Battlestar Galactica, they are more in-depth, more strategic hidden role games. You are playing either as humans or as these hybrids. Well, in this expansion, this From the Abyss expansion, there are 8 new playable characters in the game. You also can rescue passengers, and that now grants players access to allies, which can provide aid to the humans in all sort of useful ways. There are 3 new monsters in the game, the Shoggoth, the Drowned Spirit, and the Grasping Tendril. There are new Prelude cards that change the conditions at the start of the game. And there's just new items, skills, and more. Just a bunch of different expansion content. Plays 3 to 6 players in 180 minutes, and it is a medium weight game. If you want a more strategic hidden role game, then Unfathomable might be one for you. Flat River Group, in association with Ludonate, is releasing Colt Express 10th Anniversary, and this is an expansion, not like a 10th Anniversary edition. You do need a base game to play this Colt Express Happy 10th Anniversary. Also, Happy 10th Anniversary, Colt Express. I didn't mean to breeze right past that. You made it to double digits. You're this many. This adds, if you don't know Colt Express, it's a really good, welcoming game where you are moving from train car to train car and trying to steal loot off of the train car. You're playing as bandits trying to rob the train. Well, this adds a few different things. It adds the circus car where you can slide up and down the giraffe's neck to change floors. It adds the hand car. You can hide underneath the train and pop up whenever you like. It includes screen-printed loot tokens and character figures. There are 2 new bandits in the game. There are special punch cards. Yeah, so there's just a bunch of different stuff. It plays 2 to 7 players in about 40 minutes, and it is on the higher end of lightweight game. It's a lightweight game, but with maybe a little bit more going on, a little bit more strategy than just like a party game or something like that. So yeah, if you want to celebrate 10 years of Colt Express, then check out the 10th anniversary expansion. Grand Gamers Guild is releasing Endangered American Red Wolf Scenario expansion. This is an expansion for the game Endangered, which is a cooperative game about saving wildlife. You are working to save various different endangered species, and bad things happen, human encroachment and other bad things happen, and you are trying to save the different species from that. This adds these species, the American red wolves, which are the most endangered wolf species in North America. They come from the southeastern United States, and now only a small population exists in the wilds of North Carolina. So, if you like science, if you like cooperative games, this is a great game. Plays 1 to 5 players, 60 to 90 minutes, and it is a medium weight game. I like cooperative games that, have themes, that have, real need to cooperate. Sometimes cooperative games, you're like, I'm just doing my own thing, and this one's like, you got to work together to save these animals. So, yeah. Check out that. That's one of the first expansions for. There's a few expansions for Endangered, I think. Lookout Games, in association with Asmodee, is releasing the first expansion to the game Forest Shuffle, called Alpine. This is the Alpine expansion to Forest Shuffle. Plays 2 to 5 players in 60 minutes, and it is a higher lightweight game or lower medium weight game. I never know where the cutoff is between lightweight game and medium weight game, but this is at that cutoff, okay? This is right there. Forest Shuffle is a great card game where you are putting cards, you're putting trees down in front of you and then basically building species around those tree cards. You can put stuff on the top or the right and left, and it's a largely set collection. Different species, different animal types are going to score you in different ways. There's a lot of different ways to score in the game, and some of the fun of the game is really finding combinations between different cards. I love games where you're like exploring card combos, and Forest Shuffle for sure has that. This is really just adding more card content into the game of Forest Shuffle. There's just more diversity, adding even more variety to your game table. There are new animals. There are 36 new multifunctional cards, including 2 new tree species. And it doesn't say what they are, but it does say there's some new cards that bring nice twists to the rules of the base game. So if you like card drafting, if you like card combos, then Forest Shuffle is a good one, and this adds more content to it for you. Pandasaurus Games is releasing Beacon Patrol Ships and Shores. Plays 1 to 4 players in 30 to 45 minutes, and it is a lighter weight game. Beacon Patrol came out not that long ago, and it is a cooperative tile laying game. You are putting tiles down and trying to sort of create islands, trying to, close off areas of islands and things like that. This expansion adds 7 new ship types to the game with varying difficulty levels, and all of the ships in the game sort of get you a special ability. A construction ship, you may refill 1 movement token every time you place a tile. The research vessel, you may swap up to 2 tiles each turn. Each of those 7 new vessels is going to get you a new special ability. In addition to those new powers, there are new tiles adding into the game, which will add more ways to score as well as more challenges. So if you like tile laying game or if you like cooperative games, then Beacon Patrol might be for you. And here's its first expansion, Ships and Shores. Ravensburger is releasing an expansion to That's Not a Hat called Pop Culture. And I will tell you, That's Not a Hat is one of my favorite party games of all time. It is probably now in my top 5 favorite party games of all time. It's one of the dumbest, silliest games you can play. And I mean that in a great way. It sounds dumb. I would have never played this game unless somebody introduced me to it. But you are passing cards around the table, and cards get flipped down, and you have to kind of try to remember what's getting passed around, but nobody remembers it. You will not do. I don't care how good you think you are at memory games. You are going to be bad at That's Not a Hat. Everybody's bad. And it makes it hilarious because you're like, I think that's a cupcake? Is that a cupcake? You can bluff, but I feel like nobody bluffs. Everybody's just like, was there a skateboard in this game? I feel like maybe this is a skateboard. And it's just really funny. And this is the first expansion. It adds new items and things like that. New cards, so you different things to remember. It is a small box card game. So this adds new cards. And it also says it has 30 special cards for increased interaction. So that's exciting. I think in some of those, in the base game, you're just sort of passing cards right or left. And now I think some of them can go across the table, So, you're not just, in the base game, it's like if it was on the other side of the table, you're like, I can take a breather. There's no breathers anymore. They can get passed across the table. That's Not a Hat plays 3 to 8 players in about 15 minutes, and it is a very silly party game. Renegade Game Studios is releasing Transformers deck building game Chaos Unleashed expansion. Plays 1 to 4 players in 45 to 90 minutes. They release a lot of content for their deck building games quite often, actually. Like we have multiple expansions a month. Not a month, but a year. There's definitely multiple expansions for their different deck building games a year. Sort of classic deck building game. This one based on the Transformers IP. So if you like Transformers, check it out. In this expansion, you can play the likes of Rodimus Prime, Wreck-Gar, and Galvatron and join forces against the all-powerful Unicron in 2 exciting modes of play, co-op or 1 versus many. So again, if you like classic deck builders, then check out the Transformers deck building game from Renegade Game Studios. Rock Manor Games, in association with Tabletop Tycoon, is releasing a couple of things in their Set a Watch line. So Set a Watch is a cooperative game. We got a lot of cooperative expansions this month. I hope you want to work together this summer. Set a Watch is a cooperative game where everybody has asymmetric powers. Everybody has asymmetric abilities, all the characters in the game. That's one of the sort of selling points of the game. There have been multiple expansions for the Set a Watch, sort of, and some of them are standalone, and some of them need other content to play with it. This Set a Watch Doomed Run that I'm talking about is the culmination of the Set a Watch series into a campaign and a big box storage solution. So it showcases content from the entire Set a Watch series, along with a bunch of new content. You're going to play through 7 realms attempting to stop the mysterious cult behind resurrecting the unhallowed. So if you have a bunch of Set a Watch content and you want it all in the same place, this is a way to do that. Plays 1 to 4 players in 30 to 120 minutes, and it is a medium weight game. You will need a bunch of the different content to be able to play through all of the 7 realms. If you don't have all of the Set a Watch content, you can play through some of the 7 realms, but you just won't be able to play through all 7 realms of the kingdom unless you have all the content. And then they are also, Rock Manor Games, in association with Tabletop Tycoon, is also releasing Set a Watch Forsaken Isles. And these it's sort of a standalone expansion, if you will. It can be combined with the original Set a Watch or Set a Watch Swords of the Coin, or it can be played on its own. So it's up to you how you want to play this one. Plays 1 to 4 players in 60 to 90 minutes, and it is a medium weight game. It maintains the same game system, cooperative game. You are trying to, you're going on adventures, and each hero has unique special abilities that are gonna help you try to survive the night. And so, yeah, there you go. There's multiple things for Set a Watch. Steve Jackson Games is also releasing multiple things for their hit card game that has been around for a long time, Munchkin. Munchkin is one of the most well-known take-that card games out there. A lot of people played it. It's one of the games I played early on. I remember being at a bachelor party when I was younger, and we played Munchkin like all weekend. So both of these expansions plays 3 to 6 players in about 60 to 120 minutes. The first of which I'll talk about is the Floor is Larva. This adds 56, it's a 56 card expansion that adds the bug race from Star Munchkin to the growing roster of cards and characters in their Munchkin stuff. So you could stay at a roach motel, you snug as a bug at a rug. There's a bunch of puns and things like that. It is definitely a take-that game. Munchkin is one of the meaner games out there that I have played, so be prepared for that. But if you want new cards, this is a 56 card expansion. The Floor is Larva. And then they also have Pony Excess. This is another 56 card expansion. You'll add new equine monsters, curses, and items, plus a herd of new steeds. So just a bunch of new characters for the popular card game Munchkin. And then lastly this month, Stonemaier Games is releasing Expeditions Gears of Corruption expansion. Expeditions made my list of the top big box strategy games of last year. It is sort of a streamlined version of Scythe, and I actually like Expeditions more. You are exploring, you're doing a little bit of a lot of things, There's a little bit of exploration, there's a little bit of worker placement, there's a little bit of deck building, there's a little bit of card comboing, but you're getting to sort of get a taste of all of these different mechanisms in Expeditions, and I really like the game. This expansion, this is the first expansions for Expeditions. It does a few things. It adds elements of risk and danger in the form of secret bonuses on map tokens. It adds a corrupted mech that roams the land. It also offers 2 new mechs and 4 new character companion pairs, as well as components for a 6th player. So now instead of being a 1 to 5 player game, it is a 1 to 6 player game, plays in about 90 minutes, and it is a medium weight game. I personally preferred Expeditions over Scythe because it is a little bit more streamlined. It sort of gets you into the game quicker and plays quicker in general. So this is the first, and the expansion does have 2 versions. Just like the base game of Expeditions had 2 versions. There was an Ironclad edition that had metal mechs and stuff like that, and then a more pared down one that had miniatures and stuff like that. I mean, all the stuff in the pared down one was still really cool. It just didn't have the big giant metal mechs. And there's an Ironclad version of this expansion and just the normal version of it. So yeah, that's I did want to mention one last thing too, because I'm at the mercy here of the information that publishers give me, and I always follow up the month of, so I have the sort of, it's not like I have information from months ago and I'm not doing any follow-up. I follow up the beginning of the month for every single game that's on my list and try to get things confirmed. And in April, AEG told me that a few expansions were coming out in April, and they didn't come out. They're actually coming out in June. Cubitos Foul Play, Space Base Genesis, Tiny Towns Architects, and War Chest Nightfall should all be available on AEG's website. I'm sorry, that I gave you incorrect information earlier, but that is what I was told, and now I'm being told that they are available this month. So I hope that is true. So if you want any, I'm not going to go into depth about them because I talked about them a bunch in the previous month, but if you were looking for those and couldn't find them, they should be available on AEG's website here in June. So thanks so much. That's a bunch of expansions hitting retail stores and marketplaces and online websites and all that sort of stuff here in the month of June. As always, I hope you found something that you're excited about, and hopefully there's a game here that you already love and now you got more stuff for it. You can always support me and this series and the vast amount of work and research it takes by going to patreon.com/GrantsGameRex. And I'll be at a bunch of conventions here soon, so I hope that we get to see each other at a convention and maybe we even play a game together. Thanks so much. I'm Grant with Grant's Game Rex.